It's the Deep for the Week talk show. Are you ready to talk? Let's get deep for the week.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on the Deep for the Week show. I'm your host, Kali. And before we get started, you already know I'm going to ask you, please like, share, and subscribe. Help me get those followers and subscribers, y'all. And if you have any input, please comment below. We love to hear back from you. Now, today's Deep for the Week show is about the news. And oh my gosh, like if you're not good at coping, I don't think the news is for you right now. You know what I'm saying? But really, you do have to stay up on the news. But the news can be so stressful right now. But we're going to talk about the news. Why not? I mean, in the news. So that's what today's show is about. In the news. So let's talk about the death penalty. Okay, so Idaho is to start the use of the firing squad. They're using it as a second option. Is this too lethal, one may ask, or is there anything too lethal for someone who's purposely murdered someone for pleasure or gain? That question should be maybe left up to the victim or the victim's family if they're no longer alive. Or maybe some would say God. One of the reasons why the new use of the firing squad is that they're having problems getting the lethal drug that they usually use. And so they approve the firing squad. And coincidentally, after they approve the firing squad, now the lethal drug is available. But a Florida ammo company offered to donate the ammo for free. One of the second reasons why they're feeling it's necessary to use this as an option was because during a lot of lethal injections, the prisoners experience their veins collapsing. And with that, they have to stop the procedure and then they have to use a second option. And when there is no second option, then what do? So in that case, they feel they need to use the firing squad. So how do you feel about this? Utah is another state that already uses this as an option. Okay, so like be careful in those states, Idaho and Utah, doing stuff, might get shot. I don't know. Sometimes that type of punishment definitely lessens the crime rate in those areas. I'm sure it does. I don't know. What do you think? The Eaton fires. The NAACP partners with the filing of negligence lawsuit over the Eaton fire damage. They're looking to blame California Edison. The reason for the NAACP partnering to help with the lawsuits is because the fires burnt a significant part of the Black community, and they want to help that Black community get what they deserve to rebuild. You all like to call us conspiracy theorists, but most of us believe that these fires were purposely set or purposely left burning. I guess you can all call me a conspiracy theorist, as I believe in aliens, and I still do. And do you now? But here's a few reasons why some may believe these theories. Fires usually run uphill at that rate, not downhill. Okay. And then there's this rumor of the smart city that they want to build by the year 2028, along with the rail system. Now, ironically, these areas that are burnt are also the areas mapped out for the new rail system that the governor supposedly has a $310 billion rail system plan for California. Now, this event may not sound familiar to us people here in America, but if you ask the people of Australia, Melbourne to be exact, in 2009, the Black Saturday brush fires, which resulted in a large loss of life and property and land, burning almost 3,500 buildings and approximately 42 million acres and killing over 173 people, you guys. 6 years later, an establishment called Smart City Office was built, and boom, Belmore, Australia is now a smart city. Now I want to conclude with, in 2008, as a part of the Victorian Transport Plan 386 car, trains were ordered, with the first 19 built by Alton in Italy. Ooh, what a tongue tie. Alton in Italy, arriving in workshops in August of 2009. Okay, so these fires started February 7, 2009. How did they know they were gonna? I mean, they already had this stuff ordered. Okay, I mean, where did they have it mapped out to put it? And how did they know that was gonna go as planned? I mean, you just have to kind of think, you guys. So Pasadena is dear to my heart, as it was my stomping grounds to me as a teenager when I was fast and stuff, And I also have family that lived in the snake pits, and my stepdad lived in that area when my mom was married to him, and before then. And I also had kicked it as an adult in the parks after work with my homegirls that I had from Pasadena. And I also lived across the street from the Rose Bowl before I left, which I would have been evacuating if I still lived there. So my heart goes out to all of y'all, and I send my condolences to those of you that lost lives, and, people that dear to you, and all of your things and belongings that make you feel like, you may have lost all of your life and your history. I'm truly sorry that you guys are going through this, and, currently, well, not currently, but San Diego experienced it shortly after, and they had an evacuation order as well. So you guys just, I don't know, be careful living in California now in a fire area where, it's high risk for fire, I guess, because they're not covering you guys for insurance, and they're not really covering you guys when it comes to putting them out. And so, again, my condolences and my sincerity to all of you that have taken a huge loss, whether it's life or belongings. So, next to the news, immigration. It's ugly out there, or even out here in Detroit, okay? Because as they are not playing, immigration is loading up everybody. They are knocking on doors. They are pulling people over. And I live in the Metro Detroit area. They're deporting people here left and right as well. I live in an area not too far from what they call Mexican Town, which is in southwest Detroit. I live like 2-3 miles from that. And I plan to visit that when the weather permits, to talk to people and see how this is, affecting them. I hear all of their grocery stores and their stores are shut down as immigrants and people that are not legal run them and or own them, and they're afraid to go to work. Parents are taking their kids out of school and scared to pick them up and drop them off, so they're just not. They're using military planes to transport these people back home for the first time ever. What's even more controversial is that they're deporting people from reservations, and ICE has been seen raiding the Navajo reservations and rumors of reservations in Alaska. So where are these people going back to, you ask? I assume they're going back to where they're originally from, or maybe originally their original origin. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Let's stay tuned for this, but we'll talk about this a little bit, in depth later. But just stay tuned for this. But if that is the case, this explains the modification of the amendment that makes it legal for you to be a citizen if you're born here by a parent that was not born here. So can he deport the kids? And, I guess this is so they have to go home with their elders. If they don't, who's going to take care of them anyway? I mean, it only makes sense. Come on, you guys. And so, people are so distraught over this. But if he sends the parents home, who's going to take care of the kids if they're legal citizens and they're not able to take care of themselves? The American dream is no longer the American dream. It's for foreigners. If you be real, you see foreigners living better than us. The new American dream is to leave America. So, I don't know. We need some balance. We need some type of control, because you know what? What I will say, we definitely cannot go to any other country and do what they do here. Just take over and say, well, this is unfair and you got to give us rights. And If you're not doing to give us rights, we're going to sue. Like, how have we gotten so weak as a continent? We do have to adjust these laws and or the way we deal with these policies, because it is costing us money that we should be using on our own citizens, real citizens, not citizens that became citizens. And I mean, because as I said, we cannot go to their country and establish ourselves there without permission and all kind of things. And so I don't think it should be fair for them to be able to do that here, but we'll talk deeper about this. So stay tuned for that. Next in the news, transgender. The issue with transgender. Trump is implying that there will be no more transgenders dressing as teachers. Teaching and dressing as transgenders. And I agree with this. You will not be in the schools dressed as transgenders. I fully agree with this decision, as I don't want to have to explain to my child why their teacher that is a male is wearing a dress. And these kids aren't stupid. Kids are the ones that they'll ask them themselves, why you got a dress on? You're a boy. It's very inconsiderate to the parent and the child to put them in the situation to have to explain that. And they're not going to understand it anyways. So, yes, I think this is very necessary. So next in the news, Black History Month. Many Black African Americans, whatever you like to call yourself, are very distraught over this decision to no longer traditionally acknowledge Black History Month anymore. So what does this mean? Let's talk about it. They will no longer use the month of February to issue official statements from leaderships that highlights contributions of Black Americans, with their respective departments hosting internal events that are celebrating Black History Month, featuring Black employees and historians, etc. And at times maybe funding Black heritage and achievements in educational programs and stuff like that. Blacks are upset, but what does this change for you guys? Every February, all I see is a bunch of Black people say, why we only get 1 month, and the shortest month at that. So now you get every month. Black History Month is every month, you guys. There is so much history on us. You can't squeeze it in 1 month, especially not the shortest month of the year. So let's just get over the petty shit. We're worried about them giving us a month when there's so much more they need to give us. And if we're going to fight for something, let's not start with that. I said it. Listen, guys, America's going through some change, and it's just time to get rid of some of the shallowness and some of the stuff that's just not necessary. And it's also time to get closer to your tribe, your family, either the one you created or the one that you were born into. But it's just time to get stronger in our beliefs, in our politics, in our policies. So let's talk about these plane crashes. We know about the DC plane crash, but there were so many more this year, right? Are you afraid to fly? I know I am. They said y'all all want to leave America. Y'all all talking about y'all want to go move to another country, and you got to go live in Thailand and over here and over there. Well, go ahead and get there. You're going to get there. You're going to fly. Get on the plane. It's like, as soon as I'm talking about traveling, I had so many traveling dates this year, and now I'm like, can you take a boat there? Can you take a train there? I don't know if I want to go there. It's just crazy. So they have to Goleta, California. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Goleta, what it looked like, it's a Goleta, California. January 29th plane crashed. Okay, 5 of the 2 people on board survived, and then a Florida plane crash in the field. They all survived. Of course, the DC plane crash. We know about that. The Philadelphia medic plane crash. We know about that. And then January, there's a Alaska pilot that ejected. No casualties, but his plane crashed too. And that was a military training, plane. And then December 11th, a small plane crashed on the road. No casualties, but it was on a highway. 1 person on board. That was in Texas. January 2nd, small plane went through a roof. 2 dead, 19 injuries. So over 1,000 planes go down per year, but we don't hear about it though. Most of them are those little smaller planes, but what the hell's really going on? Now we know they fired some aviation people or something like that, but for real, is this the cause of not having them around? Like, we're really going to experience that? Well, then Trump, I think we do need to bring them back, because I did want to travel this year. And I don't want to have to drive and take a boat or train everywhere. And I mean, it's just getting crazy. There was another plane that was lost in Alaska for like 24 hours, and then they found it, of course, crashed. Everyone dead. I believe 8 on board. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But they're all dead. It's a smaller jet, individual jet, smaller jet plane that someone owns. But it's just like, what the is going on? Then the trains are catching on fire. They don't want us to travel. They don't want us going nowhere. And I mean, and if not, tell us why. Or this is just, don't do all that though. I mean, the trains I believe 2 trains have caught on fire now as well. I'm going to find out where that is exactly so I can give you guys an update in the news on that. But it definitely is a lot going on with transportation. So just say your prayers and, meditate and visualize yourself landing, taking off and landing and returning, taking off and landing again when you come back. Because, something's in the air. Now, I find some of these plane crashes suspicious, especially the one with the DC one with the helicopter, because it's just like, you didn't see each other. And I know the plane can't do a thing, but the helicopter can. That helicopter can. The one they were in, they could have avoided it. They can do little dash dives and up, down, rounds, things. They can do that. Now, rumor has it that they didn't have control over that helicopter. They have these new helicopters that are drone kind of helicopters, and they're operated by a remote. And so with that being said, they're saying they're testing them right now, and maybe things are not going as planned with them. If that is the case, they don't need to test them in those areas. Let's be a little smarter than that, guys. But they probably will never tell us that. Next in the news, the tariffs, how they affect us as American citizens. The cost and everything will go up if these tariffs from China do not end. But the one thing that it will do is get us used to being more reliant on our resources, which we do have a lot of. We have a lot of minerals and all kind of stuff. Do your research. We have a lot of resources and good in America, and we outsource a lot for some reason. And it's going to get a little ugly at first, but I believe everyone's going to break and give in, because it's just going to affect everyone too much. So they're going to, I believe, come to some type of conclusion or agreement that ends these tariffs. I hope, because I need my Temu and my Shein. I mean, I just start really shopping online, and right when I get, into it, this is what we're going to do. And so those of you that sell products here online, this is the time to support your local small business. They have some of these products here because you can't get them from there. So you guys promote, market, and let people know what you got. And if you don't have to charge too much, don't forget that we are all struggling. Everyone's struggling. And that's why they do shop online and overseas, because stuff is cheaper. So if you can, keep your prices as low as you can while still benefiting and making a profit. So again, like I said, it's going to get ugly before it gets pretty. Let's talk about the Department of Education to be shut down, and then put in the responsibility of each state, which might not be a bad idea either, guys. As each state has different needs and should be, every state's budget should be modified, and every state, should not be subjected to meet the needs of or requirements to get funding that another state might be easier at getting because they have a higher their education, their kids are their test scores are high. I mean, all the stuff that they base funding off of in education and this and that, it just sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And so, yeah, maybe that stuff should be in the hands of each state. And if you don't know how that stuff works, don't start losing your noodles over it. You guys need to know more about this stuff before you start saying, oh, that's not fair. And oh, no. I hear a lot of people complaining, but you don't really know how this affects you guys. So it's like and sometimes it doesn't affect you at all. So why stress over it? Okay, next in the news. Prisoners to be sent out of the country to El Salvador for a fee and reward to El Salvador for taking them. Our issues, take them and you can have them in El Salvador. Some say this is unlawful. But I remember, and I ain't going to tell on you, some of you, but I do see, some of you talking about this on Facebook to be unfair and unlawful. But I remember hearing some of y'all say that some of these rapists and murderers need to be put on an island. Well, and never to return. They can't be rehabilitated and all of this. And I believe some people cannot be rehabilitated. We see it all the time. They get out of jail, they go right back. They get out of jail, they go right back. And if we have to put you on a list and always monitor where you are, maybe we should just know where you are in this building. I'm just saying. I feel it necessary for some cases. Sorry, not sorry, you guys. And you said that's next in the news. It's being shut down for they're being audited for paying for all kind of weird stuff and not doing their job and paying AI employees that are made up, employees that are supposedly working from home that do not exist. That's why they have, all these federal employees have to now show up to work. And it's just a lot going on. And people are mad about it. And they're saying, oh, it's not fair and Trump's doing too much. But you need to understand why some of this stuff is being done before you just let the media get your panties, all twisted up in your booty. Understand why and do some research before you just let the media give you your energy or your information. They're saying that the youth that you said has been paying for stuff like transgender festivals, paying over 30 and 40K for festivals just for transgenders. I don't know why that would be necessary. Funding other countries' problems, etc. There's supposed to be an agency that helps keep disease out of our country and get help to people that are in other countries in jails and being unlawfully treated and things like that. Look them up. But their funds be everywhere. And they just pay for shit that is just unnecessary. And so I don't know. If you want your taxpayer dollars to continue to go to that stuff, then maybe you should just donate. Maybe we should have the right to donate what we would like to donate to those type of places and not have it taken out my check. You guys complain so much about how much is taken out your check all the time, but you're complaining about these things being shut down and some of that check would come back to you. You get some of that money back on your check. I'm just saying. So, last in the news that I wanted to talk to you guys about, but not least, it's about being careful about what you post, you guys. We love to post everything in our lives on Facebook. Everything we're going through when we're sad, when we're angry at our man, we arguing it up. We post everything. And that's our new life, I guess. And that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I guess it's fine. But there's some things that you should not post. I do understand that social media is now our new families with our busy lives. We don't see our family as much. And when we do see them, it's on social media. So we post a lot on social media, and it's our new way of venting. It's just everything. It's a new way of celebrating. It's everything. But be careful what you post, because now the people that post, we just got our house, and they dangle that little key, we just got our house, and they take that picture. We moved in today. Well, be careful doing that, because now thieves and this new technology they are cutting out, taking the picture, screenshotting, whatever they do, and getting a pic. They have these new machines that they can just cut out anything on these machines. Glass, wood, metal. And so with the picture, all they need is a picture, and that machine makes a replica of whatever you ask it to make. Whatever you ask it to cut out. Ask it to cut your name out in metal, it will. Ask it to cut you out in metal, it will. If you give it a picture of you. You understand me? So be careful posting that, because it will cut out a perfect copy of your key. And that's how sometimes these people are getting in and burglarizing people's homes and buildings and whatever they're posting. They're just opening my new business, just got my new car. Yeah, it's getting crazy out there, y'all. Technology, we love it, but it is hindering us as well sometimes. With all the great things it does for us, it does a lot of bad things too, and it gives people ideas to do horrible things. So just know not to be taking photos of those keys, that new house, that new car. Just be mindful of this new world of technology. Now, pawn shop owners are being accused of being behind burglaries, sending people to burglarize these athletes' homes and these rich people's homes, and they're now selling their shit in the pawn shop. A lot of these owners have been operating out of New York, and it's just bad. It's just bad. A lot of bad shit going on. You know what I mean? So just lock your doors. And be careful when buying stuff from a pawn shop. It just might be stolen from a football player or a famous athlete, because that's who they're hitting. And y'all athletes, be careful out there. You hear? And last but not least in the news, since you guys are so distraught over Black History Month, I thought I'd share a little bit of Black history with you. The last of the Tuskegee Airmen passed away. Colonel Stewart, 100 years old, gave his all to the force. He died at his home in West Bloomfield, Michigan. Thanks for your service, and may you rest in peace. Now, that's a little Black history for you. And that's all I got for you guys. Thank you for watching. And if you want to come on a D4 Week show, I am always looking for guests. Always looking for guests, as we love to discuss deep topics and get deep. Don't come on here if you're weak. But if you'd like to come on a D for the Week show, please let us know in the comments below, and we'll let you know how to get on the show. Again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope to see you next time on the D for the Week show. Thanks for watching.